So I've got a really nice big chunk of wood right here, and what I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on cutting it up into a few slices, and then I'm going to take those slices over to my table and lay them out and take a really good look at them and see if I could build some sort of rustic wall hanging art piece. So I ended up getting some really nice slices of wood. In fact, I was kind of surprised once I started cutting that piece of wood up into slices and started to notice how beautiful the wood was inside. You know, sometimes wood surprises me. Even though it can be kind of old and weathered on the outside, you just never really know what's inside until you cut it up into slices. So anyway, I'm going to take these pieces over to my table and lay them out and see if I can design some sort of rustic wall hanging art piece. So I really like the way these two pieces of wood look together. The only thing is right now the pieces of wood are a little bit too big. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on cutting them along these lines somewhere right here, and that'll make them quite a bit smaller. But then I may end up adding more wood to each side of them to then make them bigger again, but I just don't want them quite as big as they are right now. And the other thing that I may end up doing is adding a piece in the middle. That way I can have a piece to tie these two pieces together so that I can put a backer board behind them and hang them as one piece of art. And one of the reasons I don't want the piece of art getting too big is because the bigger it gets, the heavier it gets, and then the harder it is to hang. And the other reason is that I'm very limited on wall space in my house. I've got a lot of artwork in my house, so I really want to make a piece of art that I can actually find a wall to hang it on. So I've got these pieces cut down to a much more manageable size. So before I move forward and look for more pieces to add to these pieces, I'm going to take my grinder with the sanding flap disc on it and flatten these out as much as I can get them. Right now they're both kind of bowed, so they're not sitting flat on the table. So it'll make it a lot easier for me to find more pieces and sort of fit those pieces into these pieces if these are actually flat and sitting nice and level on the table. So I got the two pieces on the sides cut, and I really like the way that they look up against these two pieces. So they're still going to need some grinding and fine tuning to get them to fit the way that I want them to fit up against these pieces. But it's getting a little late in the day, so I'm going to pack it up for now. But tomorrow when I come out here, I'm going to continue on with the project and hopefully make some really good progress. So I'm getting ready to install the plywood backer boards. So I'm going to be doing the backer boards in 2 pieces of plywood rather than 1 piece. And the first piece is going to be a 1/4 inch piece, and I'm going to run the grains vertically. And the second one is going to be a 3/8 inch piece, and I'm going to run the grains horizontally. Now, there's a couple of different reasons why I like to do the backer boards in 2 pieces rather than 1 piece of 5/8 inch plywood. And the first reason is because it's a lot easier for me to cut through all these angles with my jigsaw through a 1/4 inch piece and then a 3/8 inch piece rather than 1 piece of 5/8 inch plywood. And the other reason is because by using 2 pieces of plywood and alternating the grains, it helps keep the piece of art from bending or bowing in the direction of the grains of the plywood. So out of all the rustic wall hanging art pieces that I built recently, this one came together much better than I expected. So when I first saw this piece here and this piece here, I guess you could say they spoke to me, and I just knew that they had to be the centerpieces. And then when I saw this piece here and this piece here, well, I just felt like they were too good not to use. So it really worked out good putting them right here and right here. And I also knew that I really wanted to have a piece on the top. But I also felt like it wasn't absolutely necessary. But then when I saw this piece here, I knew that it would be a bit of a challenge to cut it and install it, but I gave it my best shot. And I think that it adds a lot to the art piece. So I'm really glad that I decided to put it on here. So this is one of those pieces where I'm really looking forward to hanging it up in my house. And it's one of those where I'm definitely going to enjoy looking at it every time I walk past it. Or I might eventually take it downtown and hang it up, and then other people could enjoy looking at it. So all a piece of art like this really wants is just for people to look at it and appreciate it. So I'm really glad that you guys got a chance to see it, and I hope to see you guys on the next video.